was a building. And Tanya Wallace is going to tell us how that's unfolding.
And I'm over here, if you can't see me, I'm an Episcopalian, so I have to do things in good order, with a script and behind a podium. My name is Tanya Wallace, and I have the privilege of serving as the rector of All Saints Episcopal Church in South Hadley, Massachusetts, which is right on the corner of the campus of Mount Holyoke College. I want to thank the amazing Bruce Rockwell for his invitation to be here. He has asked me to share this story with you, and so I will. Once upon a time, there was a little house. It was purchased over 60 years ago by Bishop William Appleton Lawrence to be a place for college students to gather, to serve young Episcopalians at Mount Holyoke College. Eventually, a parish grew out of that little house, and a church was built alongside it. For many years, the little house functioned as the office and classroom space for the parish. But then when a new, larger church was built, the little house was no longer needed, and so it was leased to the college. 14 years later, we in the parish realized that the long lease was about to end, that the college was not inclined to renew the lease, and that the parish budget had become very much dependent on the income from the lease. The little house became a problem. How do we afford to keep it? Whatever shall we do? The first thought of the vestry, our governing board, of course, was to convince the college to renew the lease. But God kept nagging at me that maybe there was a reason this house had stood for so long in this place, that it was such a part of the history of the town and the college that the one contingency in the financial gift that allowed for the building of the new church building some 18 years ago was that Lawrence House be retained. I kept thinking maybe we weren't supposed to renew the lease, even if the opportunity arose. Maybe this problem of an old house on our hands was really an opportunity for ministry. I had an idea of what it could be, a residential post-bac year for college graduates to engage in social justice and discernment. But I had no idea how to make it happen. And true confession, I did at the time in a weak Mighty Mouse moment, and here I am showing my age. I did figure that before presenting my sort of out there idea, I should probably figure out the whole financial plan and exactly how to make it work. Thankfully, I've matured since then. But these thoughts and this dream coincided with a time of growth for the parish, during which we were welcoming more and more college students and young families. We were learning more how to be truly welcoming. We were taking more risks. Our first big risk of offering radical hospitality to our neighbors in the middle of the night during final exams was becoming so popular that each one began drawing more than a quarter of the Mount Holyoke student body. You can play that. This was at about 12:30 in the morning. We call it midnight breakfast. The parish didn't think me too crazy yet, or at least they hadn't told me yet. So in a weak moment at a vestry meeting, I blurted out that I had an idea for Lawrence House, had no idea how to make it work or how to fund it. They heard me out. They dreamed with me. They didn't laugh at an out there newfangled idea of a young-ish rector. And then a longtime parishioner, after being mostly quiet, sat back, crossed his arms, looked at me and said, "It seems to me this is exactly what Lawrence House was founded for in the first place, to be a place of formation for young adults." So after some time of brainstorming and dreaming, some tweaking the plan, some paying attention to our neighbors, and a whole lot of prayer, we dreamed of a bold and risky new venture, a return to our roots as a place of formation for young adults. We dreamed of changing the world, starting with our little corner of it. And we may not have realized it at the time, but we sure found out that when a parish finds its charism, its particular God-given reason for being in its little corner of the world, miracles can happen. So we sought funding. And through the combination of a bequest from a special longtime parishioner, and there is no such thing as coincidence at the timing of the bequest's arrival, and a matching grant from our own forward-thinking diocese, and another matching grant from the Episcopal Church through its Mission Enterprise Zone initiative, we were able to raise over $70,000 in a couple months' time. And then we sought help. And through the combination of the amazing hard work of a new parishioner who happens to own the home building company in town, and still no coincidence in the timing of his arrival, and a talented property committee, and a faithful crew of parishioners, and the Lawrence House Steering Committee, we were able to transform a 19th century house into a fairly modern, welcoming home. Let me show you a bit of the transformation. Here you see a before and after of the kitchen. One of 6 bedrooms, 3 of which were constructed out of a huge living room. One of 2 remaining living rooms. And one of 2 bathrooms with a happy parishioner in it. It was quite a transformation. But the real miracle happened when these 5 showed up on Labor Day. 5 smart, talented, incredibly diverse, ecumenical young adults, all recently graduated from college, found out about the program through social media and word of mouth, engaged in an application and interview process, and arrived from Kansas, Washington, Pennsylvania, and even Massachusetts to give a year of their lives to this program. Soon after they arrived, we gathered folks from throughout the diocese in worship. Bishop Fisher commissioned and blessed the interns for their year of service. All of us together blessed the house. And the Lawrence House Service Corps was born. Here's my favorite before and after shot. Lawrence House is no longer a little house that presented itself as a problem. Lawrence House is now a people, a community, a bold new ministry built of partnerships and self-sacrifice, a dynamic project that is embodied by incredible young adults. Together, these young adults have built an intentional, faith-centered community. They are sharing meals and chores and worship. They are receiving room and board, health insurance, and a very small stipend. And they are living simply on purpose, discovering the power of life of service. They are discerning God's call to them and their next steps in life. And they are working full-time in church-sponsored and secular social justice ministries throughout Western Massachusetts, gaining valuable experience, changing the lives of others, and serving in the name of the one who calls all to serve. After a few months of existence, the Lawrence House Service Corps was accepted as an official site of the Episcopal Service Corps, a national network of young adult service communities throughout the country. So our little corner of God's world is now joined with lots of others, and together we are building a movement. So in conclusion, let me give you a glimpse at what we in the parish are learning so far, with an eye, of course, toward this being a stewardship conference and all. We are learning that old buildings don't have to be problems, but can be resources for great new ventures. We are learning that new ideas are only crazy if you don't have a faithful community to bring them to. We are learning that financial risks, when recast as visions of the kingdom of God, can help create financial self-sufficiency. We are learning that parishes are not supposed to do everything all the time for everyone, but really should be paying attention to why specifically they were planted on their particular corner of God's kingdom. And through our partnership with these young adults, and hopefully with each community in years to come, we are learning to be more courageous, to engage more with the world around us, to understand our stewardship of all that God has given us in a whole new light, and to take bold new steps in helping to engage in the kingdom of God. It has been quite a journey. Thank you for letting me share our story, and blessings on your dreams.